Looks like Amber's appeal may already be over even before she could get in front of a judge, and although this isn't the most surprising news in the world, they weren't my words, they were the words of an expert with experience in appeal cases, and they seem to have piqued an interest in her case. So, exactly what might prevent Amber from being able to emerge victorious in an appeal, since the defamation case between Amber and Depp came to a halt and the actor was awarded $15 million in settlement from her? It's been the talk of the town, but a lot more people have focused more on her, as opposed to the man that just won millions in settlement. Well, the reason for that is that Amber doesn't actually have the money to pay Depp. In fact, her entire net worth doesn't even make up to even half of what she's supposed to pay him, and as a result of that, her camp have been pushing the narrative that their only option is to appeal the verdict. And even though they count that as an option, several experts in the field have come out to state that it's probably going to be impossible for them to win the case the second time. This time, it came from an expert on social media after close analysis. The expert in this case is Sarah Attari, a white-collar and criminal defense attorney who also happens to be a legal analyst. In her words, appellate court gives deference to the trial judge and jury. Odds are stacked against Heard right off the bat. One of the grounds Heard has stated she would use it evidence might not work. For example, her medical records were suppressed, which showed a pattern of assault going back to 2012 per her lawyer. Evidentiary matters are some of the hardest to win on appeal. Easier grounds to win include improper jury instructions and problems with verdict form, etc. The expert continued to describe her view of things, saying, Heard also claims negative publicity impacted the jury. She'd have to show way more than that on appeal to win. She must show the jury was in fact impacted by the negative publicity, not just that there was negative publicity. At bottom, a large majority of defamation cases are overturned on appeal, but the odds are also stacked against Heard, and grounds thus far articulated by her attorneys don't appear to be sufficient for an appellate win. According to the detailed analysis given by the expert, all the forces of the law are literally against Amber on this one, and the reason it's like that for her isn't even because she repeatedly lied and perjured herself on the stand, but it's due to the steep requirements to win appeal cases. This means that before someone that has appealed a verdict that has been given previously can win, the individual needs to prove that there was a problem with the verdict given, which could be either based on the instructions given to the jury or any other problem with the verdict. And in this case, neither of those things occurred. In fact, that the trial was extended and the jury were given more time to deliberate on the verdict further complicates things for Amber, as it stands as evidence that the verdict came after thorough deliberations and sifting through all the piles of evidence. Because of the expert's observation on the possibilities that lie before Amber, several people took to the comments sections to share their thoughts, with some asking questions and other adding more information to what Attari had already said, like this user who wrote, she repeatedly said in court that she didn't get medical help for the broken nose or the sexual assault, for example. Not sure what could have been in these records that would contradict photos taken the day after with an unswollen and unbruised face. Another user added, do you really believe there were medical reports? Amber Heard's credibility is lower than the floor. There is no trust to any of her words. I doubt they ever exist. Plastic surgery's medical reports are out of consideration for the court. As terrible as things already look for the actress, it got even worse recently when Elaine made a lot of bold statements about the jury's verdict on her behalf.
But I think that there were a lot of influences here that were beyond our control. And I think the social media, it was like a Roman Colosseum. Is the best way to describe the atmosphere here. And I have to believe that the jury, even though they're told not to go and look at anything, they have weekends, they have families, they have social media.
They were not sequestered. They were not sequestered.
And the 10-day period we had, how could they not have been influenced?
But Elaine, for most people watching this trial, and a lot of people, as you know, it got huge views. It just seemed to be so messy and salacious and so tawdry on both sides. On both sides. And I think for a lot of people from the outside looking in thought both of them were not telling the truth, and that they mutually abused each other. Do you not believe that that was the case?
No, and that's one of the many misnomers. The way that Depp's team approached this was based on ignorance of domestic violence.
Although we're not sure how much weight Elaine's words would carry in Amber's appeal, or even if she'll be part of the legal team at all. But one thing is certain, and that's this video reducing her chances of winning. How about you? Do you think she has a chance?